now. Again, we'll be having those on our website, and they'll be in the press release as well. And then again, just in closing, starting Sunday, also the school issue a news advisory beginning for media beginning at 3 p.m. with pertinent information every day until further notice. Thank you.
This is Janet Holland with Community Health Alliance. I just want to clarify that what we'll be opening is actually at Annex B, which is on the Mercy campus, not at Suite 80. So if people need assistance, they can go to either the Ford Family location or to Annex B. Thank you.
Mental health resources, I want to talk about those for a second here. We have the Health and Human Services National Disaster Mental Health Team, 16 people in total, who have flown in to help our community recover. They are providing immediate assistance and developing a strategy for long-term support of our community. The Executive Director of the Community Health Alliance, Janet Holland, who just spoke, is with us today and will be available after the press conference for one-on-one interviews. Looking ahead, we are still collecting investigative information from various sources. Those details will continue to come in over the next few days and weeks. We continue to have law enforcement and victim service teams working with the families to provide any help they may need. This includes counseling resources, helping to make any arrangements related to upcoming funerals, and more. The FBI's behavioral analyst team has arrived on the scene and will assist with helping us to understand the why of this event. This is our last planned press conference. As the need arises, however, we will continue to provide information through the Douglas County Sheriff's Office and our local partner agencies. I cannot understate the support we have received from our local, state, and federal partners. If I were to read you the list of all of those supporting agencies right now, we would be here for a long time. So we will post that list on our press release site, and you can visit that site to see who all those partners are. I cannot say thank you enough to each and every responder, investigator, victim specialist, analyst, and all the many others that have responded to help. Your help has been invaluable in getting us through this most difficult event and helping Douglas County to move down the path of recovery. And finally, I want to express my most sincere appreciation to those most directly touched by this incident. The 2 Roseburg police officers who responded and stopped the shooter from killing dozens of other people who were in that classroom and in the immediate vicinity. The student who, by all reports, charged the shooter and suffered multiple gunshot wounds. And to the families of the victims, our hearts are with you, and you know that our hearts will be with you forever. Please know that we consider your loved ones to be our heroes. They will never be forgotten. At this time, I will attempt to answer a few questions.
Sure. Could I ask you to expand on what you said before? Obviously, we know there's no suspects on the loose. You've solved that aspect. Can you tell us, in a general sense, what you're looking for now? Why the investigation needs to go on? What unanswered questions there are right now?
Really, the biggest question at this point is, well, we want to ensure that we have all the information, all the leads, all the potential details of this horrific situation gathered. And primarily, at this point, what we really want to do is try to gain an understanding so that we can work together with law enforcement agencies all across the country in an attempt to try to prevent future type of situations. And of course, like I've mentioned many times over, our focus is on the families of the victims, and they deserve to know the answers.
Sheriff, can you tell us about these documents and digital media? Were they handed over by the gunman? Where did you get them?
The question is,
The documents and digital media that have been recovered, where did they come from? Did the gunman hand these to somebody, as has been reported, before carrying out the shooting?
I can tell you that is part of the ongoing investigation, and the details of that will be forthcoming. At this time, we aren't prepared to make a statement about those specifics.
Sure. The shooter was a student and that he was in the class at the time of that he was in class. There were media reports that the shooter was a student. Can you confirm that? Say what he was studying and if he was in the class already when he started shooting. If he was...
I'm having a difficult time understanding your...
Was he a UCC student and was he enrolled in the writing class?
Okay. The shooter was a student, and that class was a class he was registered in.
Did he hand over a box to one of the victims?
A box?
A box?
That
of
I do
documents?
not know at this
Did he
point.
hand something to one of the victims?
We aren't prepared to make a comment about anything he may have done in the classroom at this time.
Can you describe how those two police officers who were heroic brought him to a stop, how the shooter was stopped? I mean, he did commit suicide, but we understand he was shot first by these two officers and then ran. And can you expand on that?
That's part of the officer-involved shooting investigation, which is being handled independently of the overall incident. I can tell you that as those two officers arrived at the scene, there was an exchange of gunfire. The shooter was neutralized at that point in time. And as far as the very specific information regarding whether it was an officer's bullet or his own bullet, we aren't prepared at this time to... One more question,
How
please.
recently did the shooter pass a background check?
I'm sorry?
How recently had the shooter passed a background check?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're listening to Douglas County Sheriff John Hanlin there speaking in what he said will be the last press conference that we know of at this point following the tragic shooting this week at that community college in Oregon. I wanted to leave you with this before we get a quick break in. He said, "Our hearts will be with you forever," speaking to the victims' families. "Your loved ones are our heroes." We'll be right back.
Oh, and that makes absolutely no